Ding ding a dong 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 a ding 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 a dong 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 a ding ding a ding a ding a ding dong dong a dong a dong a ding dong ding ding a dong 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 a ding 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 a dong 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 a ding 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 a dong 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 a ding 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 a dong. Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! My name's Stu, and this is Happy Village for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic. This is another Christmas map from the user Moon on rctgo.com. So I will post a link to this custom scenario below the video description. Now, when the video loaded up, you will have seen a green circle loading, and what that tells you is that there are custom scenery objects being imported, or custom rides being imported in with the game as well. So anything that's on here now, in order to play this, you will need to have the expansion packs, because there's a couple of objects in there, like the microbus there, and also I've some of these scenery and things like that. So you will need them. There are also some custom scenery objects as well. They've used that to build a tree there, and some other rides as well that we might see later. So let's have a look then. We have got Christmas is coming to a small village in the snowy forest. Please give a happy party to the guests who visit here. Objective: to achieve a park value of at least 320,000 at the end of October year 3. So not a huge goal then. We haven't got a huge amount of space. We are going to have to be quite clever with the rides that we put down. There's a train here, which is more sort of for eye candy than anything else, I think. Can we get rid of it? We can't. Oh, that's a shame. Because one thing we could do instantly is just replace it with like a coaster or something like that to make it more interesting. Okay, so we've got, now you'll notice there's no entrance, but this is the entrance, if that makes sense. So it's like an invisible entrance. It's a custom scenery object. You will have these in your game when you're playing. So one thing we are going to need to do then is connect up all the paths. So there's a bit of path missing there. We can connect that to there. We can connect it over to here. Bring it round as well. We want to be a bit careful. It looks like there's some padding underneath these buildings. We'll be careful with them. We don't want to go connecting them up too much. They might get lost. So yeah, I think what we'll do as well, let's just check what we've got. We've got some transport rides. Decent selection of gentle rides. We probably won't be using a lot of them though. Good selection of coasters to begin with. Good selection of thrill rides to begin with. A couple of water rides, and good selection of shops. Again, some of those are custom or expansion shops. So I'm going to put my research into shops to begin with, because we've got to get some balloons. Nothing says Christmas like balloons. I think so anyway. So once we unlock the balloons, we've got tons of other shops. Once we've unlocked the balloons, then I'm going to start researching thrill rides. But for now, I'm just going to connect the paths up, put a couple of thrill rides and things down, and then maybe fix the train, and then see what else we can do. July year 1, just under 300 guests in the park. Not that really matters. We've got a park value of 20,000. Got a little building there which looks really weird from that angle. Doesn't look so bad from this angle. Inside we've got a load of shops, food stalls, that sort of thing. We've connected up the paths to there and again to there. So this, I believe, is a custom ride. I'm going to assume it's a custom version of the Enterprise. Got a 3D cinema down just there. So the main rules for park value missions is ride stats gives you high park value, and if you duplicate them, you get a penalty of 7.5, whatever the full value of that ride was. If you'd have, so if I put, so whatever this one gives me, say it adds, I don't know, 4,000 park value. If I put another one down, I would only get 3,000 for each of them. They don't have to be identical rides. The same applies for coasters. They could be two different designs of the same type of coaster and you still get a penalty. So yeah, I've spent a ton of cash. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to carry on putting down some rides. Maybe put something, a cheap and cheerful coaster down to earn some money. And just carry on adding rides here and there. October year one, so we've got corkscrew coaster just here, the seal deal. Decent stats, charging £10 a go. It is just a launch into a cutback, photo section, and a cutback. And that's it. Now, maybe we'll do something a bit more interesting with it later, but for now, we just want to get some money. Got a little snowman right there. It's basically just a different design of a twister. That's a normal ride. That's an original ride. We've got a go-kart track, snow carts, and a little swinging inverter ship there. The train is always breaking down, so I don't know whether I need to try and zone the mechanics better, or whether it is just there's something wrong with it that would work fine on OpenRCT 2 on the PC, but doesn't seem to like Classic. I don't know. The little church building up here, original scenery that came with the park. So that cross is probably just two little items that they've stacked on each other. Again, I went looking on Moon's profile page because they made such a nice looking park that we did last year for the Christmas special. So I thought, let's have another look this year, see if they've got one. So down here, there's like a neat little trick with it's the top of an air-powered coaster to make it look like a water wheel. So as long as you just leave it like that, nothing's going to happen with that. That won't give you any stats or anything. Guests won't want to go to it because, as far as I know, it doesn't exist. Yeah, so the money's starting to come in. I'm just going to carry on adding some more rides, some more cheap and cheerful rides. And then once the money comes in, then that's when we can start being a bit more extravagant. October year 2, it's raining again. So good job of charging £20 for umbrellas because we're making a ton of cash. We've got the Christmas Trail here, Virginia Reel Coaster, decent stats on that. Very simple design. It just comes up, goes down, up and down, and then around and about and back there. Here's a custom ride here, Tannenbaum. So this one is from the Amazing Earl. So he made a ton of custom rides and things back in the day. And then we've got a limb coaster just here, Blitzen. So we could probably boost that by making it a bit faster, but maybe I'll have a look at that later. But for now, we're going to get some decent stats off that. Park value, 226. We need 320, so we only need a little bit more. Just here, vertical drop. No, launch tower, sorry, North Pole. Decent stats on that. Now, these towers, and I've got another one over here, vertical drop. So I say another one, they are different rides. These give you good stats, which translates to good value. And if you're ever short of park value come the end of the level, come the end of the scenario, you just crank them up to maximum height. And that'll give you tons of value, even if the guests won't ride on it. And then we've got a log flume. Where is the start of the log flume? Aha, just here, hiding in amongst the trees. There. So it just drops down, and then it just follows the river around a bit, and then up, back down, and then follows the river a little bit, and then back up. And We're going a bit crazy. It's Christmas. Why not? Yule log flume. Good stats on that. So that's all adding to the value. Another year to go. Quite a short scenario. I am starting to notice that we're running out of space here. So with the limb coaster, I've got it launched out and it's got a little loop around the path. I've extended the path a little bit, added some seating area because I think that would be quite a cool place to sit. I said, I think that would be quite a cool place to sit when the loop happens, when the coaster goes around the loop. I said, yes, there you go. See, that would be cool. Nothing's been rehearsed. Yeah, so I've got my research now on the roller coasters because that's the only thing really left amongst the shops. After thrill rides, I put my research into water rides because the splash boats is something I wanted to unlock. So we can do something a little bit crazy with that, going all around the park, and they're quite easy to get massive stats on when you've got tons of cash. So yeah, I'm just going to put a big splash boats all the way around the park, and that should get us mostly close to the goal. Maybe get rid of that corkscrew and rebuild a new one with a lot higher stats, and see where we are from there. Polar Express has broken down again. That's all it's done, all the way through the game. I've tried having it fixed. It's not doing much. It just breaks down all the time. So I don't know why. I'd love to be able to get rid of it, but it just won't let me. So I'll leave it open because if anything, the point for excitement might be giving me a couple of pound worth of park value. Speaking of which, what are we doing? We are on 324 park value, which you might be thinking, oh, that doesn't give you a lot of leeway. But there's a lot of things that affect park value, and one of them is ride throughput. So what you'll find is that when it rains, your park value will drop, and then when it's sunny then and guests start going back on the rides, your park value will shoot up again. One thing I did do was I saved the design for the drop tower and the launch tower, and then I demolished them and then I added them again because ride value does depreciate over time. So they're exactly the same design, and that's added me. I think it was about 338 before I did it, and after I rebuilt it, it was 345. So it's added, give me a little bit, and since I'm not trying to thrash the park value, I just want to beat it. I'm not too bothered by how much I beat it by. Yeah, so that extra couple of thousand might come in handy. We got rid of the seal deal. So obviously it's a seal coaster, so there's a seal pun. And now this is now the seal thing. Takes you up, drops you down, little airtime hill, batwing, or would it be called a kamikaze curve on one of these types of coasters? I'm not sure. So it's a batwing anyway. So yeah, decent stats on that. Couple of loops and then back up and drop you down. So yeah, I've got the prices down. I've dropped all the coasters and things down to £5 because I want the guests to go on the rides. We've built that crazy splash boats. So we've got the stations there split, just as I've done with the log flume. I've split those. It's a good way of increasing throughput because otherwise what happens is, see, the guests will get on. That's fine. But when the guests come out now, watch how it stops. He's only got to walk down to the exit there. And whilst that's happening, another guest can load here if the boat is available for them. Obviously, if there's no boat available, they can't do it. I've got the maximum number of boats on that, and we got the splash boats as well. Jingle boats. Jingle boats, jingle boats, jingle all the way, all the wave, jingle all the wave. There you go. Nice high stats on that. It just comes down in and out of the cliffs there, and then up, and then down. Oh, there you go. And then back up, all the way up the top, and then down, and then can you have an airtime hill on the water ride? Yes, you can, if I'm building it. A few more drops, and then back down to the entrance. 8-minute ride. So if I use that on the outro, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to edit it slightly. So extra, we've got 7,000 to play with. We've got the Santa bus. So that's like it's from the expansions. It's meant to be like a hippie bus. Pirate ship just there, Ice Pirates. Over the last couple of weeks, I've watched all 5 of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and also Muppets Treasure Island. Muppets Treasure Island was the second best pirate movie I've watched the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Oh, we've got the Impulse Coaster because it's a nice small ride, relatively speaking, but it does pack quite a bit of punch. So that's Impulse Buy. So, and it's a 2-for-1 pun, aka the Vomit Comet, because that's the name of a reindeer, just like this one, Blitzen. So we've got it set to the maximum speed and the maximum number of circuits that we can do. And even then, the stats aren't that high considering how many circuits it really is and how fast it's going. 27th of October. That's not bad. If it's raining now and the park values only drop down to 326, then as long as it stops raining, it'll be fine. What else have we got that I've missed? Oh, we got the Haunted House, Krampus. That Christmas tree does look pretty cool. So that is just a load of scenery objects that the scenario creators stacked on each other. On OpenRCT 2, there is a way of taking the clearance checks off, so you can stack scenery on top of each other. So if you were to delete that now, you wouldn't be able to rebuild it on Classic. Seen that. We've got a little top spin just hidden away there. It's October 31st. Let's put on pause a second. Ooh, that's close. 3-1. So we're going to, as things stand, we're going to beat the goal by 1,319 pounds. Now, obviously, what we can do is we can save it here. And if we don't pass, we could just reload. It's fine. Oh, we've done it! Yay! Stew! Fantastic. 327.47. Watch out, it'll stop raining. And there you go. It's just dropped down. So an extra couple of days. What's happened is a lot of the rides have aged, and then the value depreciates then over time. So that's fine. I mean, we could have just rammed the park full of drop towers or smaller coasters. We've got loads of like Wild Mouse type coasters, and they're good for stats and for fitting into small spaces. So we were never really troubled, if that makes sense. It's we did what we had to do. Just wish we could have got rid of that train and replaced it with something else, because that would have been cool to replace it with like the limb coaster or something, or a wild mouse. Yeah, so I've got a couple of videos coming up that I recorded over the past couple of weeks whilst I've been ill. Now, I don't know if you notice, but my voice is a little bit croaky. There's like some sort of respiratory illness going around. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's been on the news a little bit. So a couple of weeks ago, Mrs. Stu felt ill, went for a test, came back positive. So I stayed off work, didn't have any symptoms, had a slight cough, went for a test, that came back positive. Had a few more symptoms over the next few days, a week or so. Generally fine, so don't worry, because on the next videos I am going to tell you that I'm ill, but I'm fine. A bit exhausted though, so whilst I was never badly ill, I was exhausted at the end of it, mainly from like not eating so much as I should have done, because you lose your appetite, and yeah, but I'm fine, so don't worry about that. So yeah, there's quite a few videos to come out that I'll start releasing for over around New Year's. Completely forgotten what I was going to say. Oh yes, it's only the same thing I say at the end of every video, isn't it? Of course it is. Okay, so this was Happy Village, a somewhat impromptu Christmas special, as they have tended to be the last couple of years. This was a custom scenario made by the user Moon on RCTC Go. I will put the link in the video description, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. And I'll see you on the next video. Have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. And I'll see you soon. Bye.